Now, let's talk about blasphemy laws in Ireland, because Ireland have voted to get rid of their blasphemy law. It ties into a story this week in Pakistan. A Christian woman, Asia Bibi, spent 8 years on death row in Pakistan after being convicted of blasphemy. And her husband, Ashiq Masih, has asked for asylum for him and his family in the UK now. Now, since her acquittal of Asia, violent protests have been happening in Pakistan, calling for the death penalty to be reinstated. And last Saturday, campaigners in Ireland celebrated this pretty historic occasion of getting rid of a medieval ban on blasphemy laws. BBC Coventry and Warwickshire's Libby Merry has the details.
Blasphemy means speaking insultingly about a particular religion or God. Previously, blasphemy in Ireland was illegal. If found guilty, a person could face a fine of up to £22,000. A moment you might remember was back in 2015, when Stephen Fry was interviewed on the RTE programme The Meaning of Life.
Why should I respect a capricious, mean-minded, stupid God who creates a world which is so full of injustice and pain?
According to court documents, the last person in Ireland to be convicted of blasphemy was Thomas Emlyn in 1703, before Irish independence. He published a book arguing that Jesus Christ was not the equal of God, and it caused a lot of outrage. Emlyn was fined £1,000 and sentenced to 1 year in prison. According to the US Commission on International Religious Freedom, their 2017 report says that there are 71 countries that still have blasphemy laws. While that number now becomes 70 as Ireland celebrate the end of their law, in some countries, blasphemy law can still be punishable by death.
So that's the details of the history of blasphemy and blasphemy laws. Let's talk now to Michael Nugent, chair of Atheist Ireland, who's campaigned for years to have blasphemy taken out of the Constitution. Good morning.
Good morning.
You must be delighted then that finally you've got your wish.
Yeah, it's a marvellous step forward. Now, I think the people of Ireland had already moved on. I think a lot of people still think that Ireland is a Catholic country. It's no longer a Catholic country. It's a pluralist, modern country. But we still have a lot of Catholic laws that were put in place while the Catholic Church controlled the country. And we're gradually removing those. And the most recent one is the blasphemy law. Now, although it wasn't formally enforced, it did have a kind of soft cultural impact in that media would self-censor themselves rather than even get involved in the possibility of a blasphemy case. And it did have an international impact in that countries like Pakistan were citing the Irish blasphemy law to justify their own persecution of religious minorities by pointing to Western hypocrisy of countries with blasphemy laws, telling them to stop doing what they're doing.
What's been the reaction of the Catholic community in Ireland to this?
I think the Catholic community have more or less accepted it. The Catholic bishops said coming up to the referendum that they felt that the blasphemy clause was mostly obsolete. It was put into our constitution in 1937, which is a long time ago when we were a very different country. And I think they more or less accepted that we have moved on. I mean, there's still a lot of issues that we have to deal with. The Catholic Church still controls 90% of our primary schools and are allowed to discriminate on the grounds of religion within them and so on. But the blasphemy one was one that I think even they realised they couldn't hold on to.
And what about the case of Asia Bibi? I know that you've long campaigned for her release.
Yes, we've campaigned not only for Asia Bibi, but for others within Pakistan, including the Ahmadi Muslims, who are a minority Muslim community in Pakistan, who are persecuted there. When Pakistan was being questioned last year by the United Nations under their human rights obligations, we brought a delegation to Geneva from Atheist Ireland, the Evangelical Alliance of Ireland and the Ahmadi Muslim community of Ireland to speak out for members of our respective communities in Pakistan who can't speak out for themselves because they would face further persecution. And the UN highlighted not only the blasphemy laws, but the right to participate in public affairs, freedom of expression, early marriage, forced marriage, enforced disappearance, a whole range of issues that are very serious human rights abuses in Pakistan. So it's great that Asia Bibi has been acquitted, but she's still in danger, and her lawyers are still in danger, and indeed the judges are in danger from angry mobs in
Well,
Pakistan.
Indeed. For her and her family, they now want asylum in the UK. Is that the right move?
Well, asylum anywhere outside of Pakistan is unfortunately necessary, because one of the issues in Pakistan is that it's not just the judicial carrying out of blasphemy laws, but there are mobs that will attack people, and often people are charged with blasphemy in order to rescue them from mobs who are attacking them. So, I mean, it's just a very, very dangerous place. And indeed, the government in Pakistan has just done a deal with the extremists who were rioting to get them to stop rioting in return for a guarantee that they will not allow Asia Bibi to leave Pakistan until the case is reviewed again. So who knows what's going to happen there.
We'll watch with interest. Thank you very much for your time this morning. Really appreciate it. Michael Nugent, chair of Atheist Ireland, campaigned for years to have blasphemy taken out of the Irish constitution, and is also working on behalf of people convicted of blasphemy crimes in other countries.